Palumbo here with my official 2017 Arnold Classic predictions. This weekend, can you believe it already? We are here, the Arnold Fitness Weekend, one of the most exciting events of the entire bodybuilding calendar year. And it's really the first big show to launch the year. And once this starts, it's like a whirlwind of competitions every single weekend. Arnold Schwarzenegger has been putting this on since 1989. Amazing as that may seem. I think I've been to almost, not all of them, but pretty close to all of them. And every year it doesn't seem to let me down. It gets bigger and better. It's going to be a great weekend between the Expo, the Hall of Fame ceremony, and of course all the pro shows. RXMuscle will be there in full force. Now, I'm going to get to my predictions because a lot of people out there are afraid to put it on the line. They're afraid to say, hey, this is who I think is going to win. I'm not. I'm mostly wrong because you can never predict bodybuilding because it's not like a car race. It's not like a basketball game. It's very hard to predict who will show up at their best. But this is my predictions. I'm laying it on the line here today. We're going to start with the open class. I believe that last year's second place finisher, Cedric McMillan, will win this year's event. I think that he has done everything that he could possibly do at the Arnold Classic. I think last year he actually was the winner, although Kai Green seemed to beat him on the posing round and squeak past him. Now this year they'll be judging the posing round as well as 33% of their score, which will work to Cedric's advantage because Cedric is the second best poser, in the Arnold Classic. Kai Green might have been the greatest, but Kai is not in the contest this year. I don't think anyone's better than Cedric on stage. I can't see Cedric losing this event unless he screws up, So my money is going on Cedric McMillan for the win. He's been a favorite here the last couple of years, and I think this is going to be his big year. Finishing in the second position, I think, is going to be Lionel Baiki, who finished out the 2016 calendar year with the big win in San Marino at the San Marino Pro. He has proven once and for all that he is back. He actually was third at the Arnold Asia. He was third at the Arnold South Africa last year. He proved that he has what it takes to still compete with the big guys, and he proved that his health is better. He had told us that he had been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. He was taking insulin. He prayed and he was healed, and he no longer requires any insulin. He is no longer diabetic. He is in perfect health, and I think he's going to be a super dangerous guy in this event. I know George Farah is helping him now. Hopefully his diet will be keyed in better than it was at San Marino, which it was good there, but it wasn't great. If he is great here, who knows? He could win, but I'm putting him down for second place here. I think he's going to beat a lot of the pre-show favorites, which we're going to get to next. Coming in third might be a dark horse prediction, but I truly believe that Juan Morel has what it takes to place in this top three at the Arnold Classic, and I think he can go 1, 2, or 3. I'm just going with 3 just because I think that this is Cedric's year, and I think Baiki's coming on with a surge. Juan Morel has got really virtually no weaknesses. Can his legs be a little fuller? Yeah, but when he's full on stage, the legs don't look weak at all. If you want to think back to 2015 when he won the New York Pro, that's the look that we need to see Juan Morel bring to the stage. He took off a lot of time last year. He was competing. He stopped. He didn't do the Olympia. And I think that rest is going to really serve him well. I think he's going to look fresh up there. He's got maybe the best shoulders, best taper on stage. He's got a great back double bicep pose. Glutes are always strided. Hamstrings drop from the side tremendously on all his side poses. He's going to be dangerous in this lineup. I'm going to put him third. Finishing in the fourth position, I believe, will be Dallas McCarver. He's been the talk of the Arnold Classic. We see the pictures everywhere. We saw that video that he was taken at the NPC gym where people didn't think he looked that good. But then we see the Instagram pictures where he's looking phenomenal. He's probably going to be one of the biggest guys on stage, probably be in the 270s, 280s. He's a tall guy at 6'2". That's an imposing look on stage. I don't think his structure is as good as the top 3 guys that I just mentioned, but I think his mass and conditioning will certainly make up for that. I think he's a solid 4th place here at the Arnold. And finishing the 5th position is probably the workhorse of the lineup. I'm going to go with Fouad Abiad. I know he has a leg injury he told us about earlier this week, that something happened in the gym when he was squatting and something popped. I don't think that's going to hold him back here at the Arnold Classic because I think it's going to have enough time to heal up. I think the swelling would be down by then. I've seen pictures, progress photos that he's posted online. His back is looking ridiculously thick. His hamstrings, he's just looking gnarly. And I think that while he may not have the best structure up there, he might not have the best genetics, his work ethic and what he brings to the stage conditioning-wise, I think will put him into that top 5. The wild card being Michael Lockett. I think that Lockett could slip into the 5th position or finish in 6th or be as low as 12th. Who knows? You don't know what's going to show up. That's why if I'm a betting man, I go with Fouad Abiad for 5th place. Let's talk about the 212 division, which might be the most hotly contested contest of the entire weekend because we have a lot of champions coming back. We have Jose Raymond coming off a 2nd place last year behind Hide Yamagashi, arguably not at his best. Hide probably bringing one of his best looks to date, obviously wowing the crowd with the posing, which helped his score. Once again, 30% of the score at the Arnold Classics are based on the posing routine, which is not the case with any other competition throughout the year, including the Olympia. But this is a special event, special rules. I think that Hide Yamagishi is dangerous, but I am going to say that Jose Raymond is going to win this event. Why? Number one, he was not at his best at the Olympia. He might have been 90% of his best, and he just narrowly got squeaked out by Ahmad Ashkanani for 2nd, and he finished 3rd. He finished 2nd place last year at this contest, and I thought he was actually probably good enough to win. Hide, obviously dazzling with the posing. So I think that Jose is coming back with a vengeance. I've seen update pictures from him. He looks ridiculous. He's gnarly, grainy, hard, and I don't think anyone in this lineup could beat him. I think he's the 2nd best bodybuilder in the 212 division in the world, behind Flex Lewis, who won't be here this weekend. I say Jose Raymond wins this. But in 2nd place, and a close 2nd place, I think it's going to be Ahmad Ashkanani, who came out of nowhere last year, won the Tampa Pro, placed 2nd at the Olympia, pushing Jose out of that 2nd position, and a lot of people are talking about him. I think he's going to come back bigger in this show. I think he'll be just as hard. I think he's not going to be good enough to beat Jose because I think Jose is a seasoned, poser on stage. When he's at his best, he's very difficult to beat. But I think Ahmad Ashkanani will push him and will certainly be a very close 2nd. Finishing in the 3rd position, I'm going to go with last year's champion, Hide Yamagishi. Once again, the posing round really working to his advantage in this show. If you notice, he didn't place well at the Olympia last year, but this show, because of that posing round, will push Hide into a higher placing, and I think he'll finish in the 3rd position here tonight. And then let's talk about the former 202 Mr. Olympia champion, David Henry. David Henry has got one of the most beautiful physiques in maybe of all bodybuilding. He's not the tallest guy, but when he hits that hands together most muscular shot, man, there's very little you can say that's wrong with him. His legs tend to be a little on the smaller side, and I don't know if that has anything to do with the fact that he's in his 40s, but he also hasn't been, working in the armed forces full time anymore. He has more time to train and dedicate to preparing for the show. I think he's going to come back better than he was last year. His only drawback is he's one of the smaller guys in the lineup, despite having that terrific shape. I have him 4th here. And then in the 5th position, I cannot count out the hardest working man probably in the 212 division, at least the most neurotic, Guy Cisternino. He's, preparing mentally for like a nuclear war on that stage. And I think that he will probably pose harder than anyone else out there. He'll probably be in the best condition of anyone else on the stage. Structurally, he's not as good as these other guys, but he beats people because of his polish, conditioning, and attention to detail. Look for Guy in 5th place. As far as the other divisions go, I don't think anyone is going to beat Oksana Grashina in that fitness division. I mean, the problem is no one can beat her routine. Her physique is beatable, but her routine is not. And she's got something planned. Unless she falls, she's doing some crazy ring routine. Unless she falls, I don't see her losing. In the figure division, I got to stick with my good friend Latoria Watts. I've been, hot ever since she won the 2013 USA Championships. I said this girl would be Miss Olympia. She is Miss Olympia now. She's coming back to try to win her 2nd Arnold. I don't think anyone touches her. In the women's physique division, Autumn Swanson's the returning champion. I think that she's going to repeat again. I don't think anyone will beat her. I think that she was a little off at the Olympia. She realized she had some food allergies and some things she fixed up. I think she comes back here and defends that title. In the men's physique, Brandon Hendrickson is the defending champion here. I think he'll be pushed to the wire by Ryan Terry, who finished second at that Olympia, but I don't think anyone's going to beat him. I think he's a favorite here in Columbus, Ohio. I think he's pretty local too to the event, and I think that he's going to repeat as champion. And finally, the bikini division, the reigning Miss Olympia, Courtney King, I think will certainly repeat or at least win the Arnold Classic here. Coming off that Olympia, she's got a tremendous amount of momentum. If this is the look that the judges want in bikini, I don't see anyone beating her. Look, it's a long show. It's going to be a long weekend. We will be there all weekend long covering on RXMuscle.com. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please hit subscribe below. Tell us your feedback. Like the videos. That inspires us to do more. We'll see you this weekend in Columbus, Ohio. I'm Dave Palumbo for another installment of RX Muscle Contest Predictions.